it's Ian the Off Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. It is the first ever Maker Monday, and I'm so glad that you're here to join me. If you're catching this on the replay, make sure to hit that bell notification icon, and of course click subscribe so that way you know every time I go live here on YouTube. That will send you a notification, and also make sure that your notifications are turned on if you have a mobile device. Make sure to turn those notifications on for YouTube so that way it can send you that push notification as well. Hope everybody's doing well. We're starting off another week here in August, and I'm starting a brand new, I guess, series here on my channel where I go live and I don't know. Each week is going to be different, and we will see what mischief I get up to in each episode that I'm going to be doing. I call them episodes, but each time I go live, who knows what's going to happen. Let's talk about a little bit of what's going on. I am still testing out my video equipment. So if you are here, first of all, let me know that you're here over in the chat. Second of all, let me know if you can hear and see me okay. It's always great to get that confirmation. I am still working on my setup. Every time I'm in a new space, it changes how things work. So as you can see, this is my current setup. It may not stay like this forever. I'm hoping to get more equipment so that way I can make for better quality live videos. But for now, this is what I have. This is what I'm working with, and I hope you will forgive me if there's some blunders or some craziness. I'm also going to be looking over here at my computer, which has the chat up. It has all the information that I need to make sure that everything's going out smoothly. It also is my switching studio. So if I need to switch cameras or anything, you'll probably see me come over to the laptop and just check on things and get things switched over. We have Sherlock. Hi, Sherlock. How are you? Doreen, Natalie, and George. Hey, everyone. Hope y'all are all having a great evening. I know it's live on a Monday night. The reason I'm deciding to go live on Monday nights is because, well, we have Becca who's live on Friday nights. We have several people who are live on Saturdays. Mom and Pop quilting shop. We also have Tiffany going live on Sunday. There's just a lot of people going live during the weekends. So I figured Monday is a clear enough, from my perspective, a clear enough day so that way I'm not interrupting other people's lives. I try very hard to not go live when other people are going live, so that way we're not distributing up our audience, and it just makes it a whole lot easier for people. And hopefully it also kind of gives you entertainment throughout the week. So it's pretty awesome. Hi Paula, hi Texas Magnolia. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Like I said, I've got some equipment and stuff set up. I'm also using a brand new streaming software that I'm still kind of new to, learning all the tools and features of it. It's giving me some warning signs, so if things are a little wonky on your end, I do apologize. I'm testing it out tonight, and I'm going to go back and watch this live to kind of see how everything ends up going. I also have some new things set up so that way when I have a new subscriber join, oh, wait, what just happened? See, this is the part where I'm like, the new technology is freaking out on me. Okay, I think I figured out. When I have a new subscriber, if you are a new subscriber that joins during the live event, you'll see something that looks like this on the screen. And if you happen to send a super chat while I'm live as well, there will be a notification as well that looks something like this. So if you see those during my live event, you'll know that either somebody subscribed or somebody was kind enough to send me a super chat, which does help support my channel. Not required though. I don't require any super chats or anything, but I do appreciate them when you guys do send them in. So let's see what else is going on. And we got Kathleen. Hi Ian, joy to see you. And it looks great. I know about transitioning, but out will grow into your effect what you want, and that is a circle that doesn't end. You are so right. It never ends. As soon as you get set up and going smoothly, there's a new gadget or there's a technical glitch, or it's always an evolving process. So I appreciate y'all being here and hanging out with me. Oh, Kathleen, it's okay. No worries. I apologize for stumbling over that a little bit. It's bad enough because I am dyslexic, and then add in typos on top of that, and I just get all sorts of crazy. Joyce, thanks for joining me. Janet's here as well from the West Coast. Hello, West Coast. I appreciate y'all being here. So, what are we doing today? Well, I have a box. It's kind of washed out here on camera, but let's go ahead and switch to our picture-in-picture and you'll be able to see it a little bit better. I have this box. See, look, I'm in the corner, like right over where there. See, look, I'm right down here and you can see me and it's amazing. So I hope at some point to get 3 cameras so that way I can have obviously the face-to-face camera, another camera here for my work area, and then maybe another camera for the sewing machine. But that's gonna come down the road and I'll figure that out as it happens. But what's gonna happen tonight? I don't know how long this live is gonna be. I don't know what's honestly gonna happen because this is almost like a time capsule. I have not opened this box in about 10 years. I know this was a project that I was working on. And I'll tell you what, back 10 plus years ago, here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we had the John Paul Gaultier exhibit, Gaultier? I think so, exhibit at the Dallas Museum of Art. It was really awesome. Inside that exhibit, I saw a beautiful jacket that he had created, and I freaking loved it. It had a train that was like 10 miles long. It was beautiful. I got very inspired, and I wanted to make something that was inspired by it. So I went to Joann's, I found beautiful fabric. I don't even know how many yards. It's been so long, I have no idea how many yards of this fabric it is. I do remember it was about $70 worth of fabric, so obviously I wanted to keep it. But I have not worked on this in forever, and so it's kind of gonna be a time capsule, and it's also gonna be like a puzzle figuring out where I left off and figuring out what's going on. Yeah, so we're gonna be working on a clothing pattern. Even spell check and auto, it's true. It is a monster. Spell check and autocorrect are monsters. So we're literally gonna be opening up this box and seeing where I left off and trying to figure out how to pick it back up. I don't even know if I'm gonna be doing any sewing tonight. I may just get so overwhelmed with all of this, but we're just gonna open it up and see what happens. You can see in the background here, I have my ironing board set up, and if I need to iron, I have that available. I have my sewing machine set up, and if I do end up walking over to the ironing setup, you probably will get a nice butt shot. But anyways, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's open up this box and see what's inside and where we left it, where I left it, and again, I don't even remember. Okay, so this was the pattern that I got the inspiration from. So I was working on this pattern right here. This is Simplicity Costumes 4083. The dude in white here almost looks like a character from the Haunted Mansion. So yeah, it looks like I didn't need some of these. Again, I don't remember where I stopped off at. Okay, I have some interfacing in here, so at least I had that going for me. Put that over there. Again, I have no idea. Slow and easy. You are so right, Sherlock. So here are the official instructions. And again, did I end up leaving myself a note where I left off? No, I don't think I did. All right, well, this is the fabric. And as you can see, it is somewhat put together. I don't know if you can really see the detail. Yeah, so I'm looking over here in the camera and you can see this fabric has some tone on tone on it. And it's really, really nice fabric. Oh, there's open pins in here. I need to be careful and make sure that those don't end up on the floor. Let me put some of these back. It looks like this container spilled at some point, so let me make sure to put these away before I end up spilling them on the floor and end up sticking myself with them. And I just almost threw that one on the floor right there. I hope you've had a good Monday. It has been a busy one for me. Obviously, I was getting ready for this live, but I also had a lot going on. I also got a vaccination today, so my right arm is a little sore. So I apologize if I end up having a little trouble like raising my arm or anything. Okay, so I do have some of these pieces. Oh, there's some more pins. I do have, oh, there's a lot of pins. I think that's it. So some of these are actually still pinned to their pattern, which is good. But I don't know, I'm not a garment expert, so you may be yelling at the screen tonight depending on how far I get as to whether or not I should be doing what I'm doing. We will find out. All right, so I think that's all the pins. I have so many UFOs, says Janet, where I don't note where I had left off. Well, apparently that's what I did on this one. I just apparently stopped and didn't leave myself a note. All right, so I'm gonna bring this back onto this camera so I can show. So this is what I have. I have a jacket. It looks like, let me do this. My cat found a pin the other day and scared me. My goodness, I would be terrified of that happening. All right, so it looks like I might have, yes, so I have the front panels kind of here. Looks okay, not great, but it looks okay. And then I've got the back there. So it looks like I've gotten the front and the back pretty much sewn together. Let me see if I can find where I left off on the pattern, because that might help me. I mean, it will help. It will definitely help figure things out. Okay, so Sherlock says, gotta run, daughter just flew home. We'll catch you on the replay. All right, see you next time, Sherlock. Uh-oh, UFOs, you are so brave to show us. I have so many of these left, and it's a complete mystery where I left off. Well, I mean, it's not too far off from where this is right now. Let's see here. Okay, looking at the pictures, I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see this or not, but it looks like I've already done a lot of these parts here. And I know that's not coming across on camera very well, but it looks like I have already gotten through step 9. It says to understitch, press facing in the neck area away from garment, press seam towards facing side up, stitch to close to seam through facing and seam allowances as far to the front end of collar. Okay, I think I may have gotten that part completed. Let me look. I also noticed that I have a little bit of a bunch. Oh, it's too dark for you to see, but I have a little bit of a bunch there. But I think I'm just going to keep moving forward and not worry about it. I think it looks like I did do step 9. So we're going to look at step, well, we're going to be skipping step 10 because did I not do a sleeve? apparently I decided not to put sleeves on this. That cannot be true. Because this is looking like a sleeve right here. It is. So I have 7, which is a sleeve. I have 2 sleeves. I have 8, which is undercoat under sleeve. Oops, I have another pin. Put that over there. What is this? This is coat lower back. Okay, so these are the back panels that go down. I keep wanting to look at this camera, but I have to look over here. This part is the part that's gonna go from my waist down. I have made this coat in the past, but again, it's been many, many, many years since I've done that. So this coat I made for, not this specific one, but a similar one. I made for a Halloween costume when I was a ringleader of a circus. And so I made it out of red velvet, and it looked really, really good. I really liked it. Sippy sippy for my voice, because I am not used to talking and projecting. But let's take a look at these instructions again. I wonder if they have these online as well. Okay. Pin upper sleeve to under sleeve, matching notches. Oh, okay. I think I understand. Let me read this all the way through before I just like start going crazy. Pin upper sleeves to under sleeves, matching notches, stitch along edges to ease top of sleeve between notches, stitch along seam line and 1/4 inside seam line. Using a long machine stitch, press, using a long machine stitch. Aren't instructions just the best at patterns? Like, I don't know if they could, it almost is like they're translating a second language over. Do I still have it? Yes, I do. I do still have that coat. It is in my closet right now. Let's see. Press up sleeve hem, press under 1/4 inch on raw edge, stitch close to inner pressed edge, turn sleeve right side out when inserting into armhole. Okay. I don't know why I marked that out in the instructions. Again, at some point I did this coat, but I marked that out for some reason. I don't know. All right, so we're gonna take, oop, there's another pin. All right, so I'm gonna set this off to the side. And you'll also notice that I made this a little bit longer because why do I keep looking at that camera? I am 6'2", and like sleeves don't always come all the way down for me. So I added length onto this. Let's hope that I did it right. All right, so here is the undercoat sleeve. I did add some extra material to the end of that one as well. Good on me for remembering that. So it looks like what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take this apart because obviously there are 2 sleeves. So I'm going to unpin. I'm going to unpin these so that way I can take them apart. And we're going to work one sleeve at a time. Hope everybody's Monday was good. Let me know how your Monday was. Like I said, mine was really busy getting ready for this live and doing all sorts of different things. I had a physical today, my yearly physical. Go get your yearly physical if you haven't already. Make sure to get that done. All right, so there is one sleeve. Wow, and you can see may not be perfect here on camera, but you can see how not so great I ended up cutting those edges. Like, it is, I'm not a perfectionist by any stretch of the imagination, but this is a really bad cutting job, to be honest. But that's okay. Don't know what I was thinking. Obviously, when I was working on this 10 plus years ago, I didn't know a lot. And so I kind of made things up as I went along. Hey Judy, how are you? Thanks for joining tonight. I hope this is entertaining. It's going to be a mess, that's for sure. But hopefully it's at least somewhat entertaining as you watch me try to figure all this out. Oh, there's another pin down there. All right, so let me move this. Meh, cut part ends in the seams. No one will ever know if it's messy. So true. So very true. I'm also noticing that I got the selvage, did I say that right? In there as well. Okay, so what am I doing? Let's look in the directions again. It says to pin upper sleeve to undersleeve, matching the notches. Okay. So obviously, what's happening here is we're just making the sleeves bigger. Obviously, this is not, like if I tried to wrap this around my wrist, it would fit maybe down here at the end, but up here would not, there's not enough material up here for it, so that won't work. Now this is not quite matching up. Let's take a look at the pattern. So I think what it's trying to have me do, my fan is on and so it's blowing everything around, of course. Okay, so what I didn't see is that there's actually two notches over here that matches up with the two notches on this pattern. And what's really difficult about doing garments is you're trying to turn a two-dimensional piece into 3 dimensions, right? So it's really hard to kind of process that in your brain, right? Okay, so I have one notch on this side over here. Hey Tracy, welcome. A lot of sleeves are made in pieces. That's right, Pam. So it looks like I'm going to be lining up. Okay, I have a better idea of what's going on. But the problem is I cut straight across these notches right here. I did not end up putting them on, but the good news is there's a notch right there. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for right sides together, right? So that may be, that's one notch. This might be 2 notches. But that doesn't line up. No, this does not line up together because I have the one notch sitting over here, and then I have the one notch sitting over here. So these do not match. That is the same piece, so I don't want that. All right, there we go. There's my double notch. And then I've got my single notch. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try and align these. And the material is very clingy. It wants to cling to itself. I'm going to put a quick pin in this because I think I might understand what I'm doing here. Don't know for sure. We're going to find out together. It looks like it does not reach all the way to the bottom. Is it supposed to? Yes. Boy, howdy. I think it's actually supposed to line up there. Okay. Okay, I think I have it too high. This makes more sense. There we go. Okay, so I've lined up my notch here. I know that this is not the best camera angle, but Ian, match sides, not shoulder. That sleeve head notch, not the arm notch. So I think, yes, this fits together more like a puzzle right here. Y'all are probably yelling at me like crazy through your YouTube screens. So this matches a lot better because you can see right here, I have the notches, even though I didn't cut them very well, I have my notches matching up right here. My sleeves are not totally equivalent in length, but that's not a big deal. And when I look over on this side, my two notches are matching up on this side. Okay, so we figure, I've been able to figure this out. I'm gonna pin this in place. And again, this is like by no stretch of the imagination a great cutting or sewing job, but I think I've figured it out at least a little bit. We'll figure it out together, right? We get to figure this out together. The curve is the shoulder. You are right. Here is the curve for the shoulder. And it looks like that works. We will help you. I'm so glad, Tracy, that y'all are here to help me. I definitely appreciate it. All right, so that looks good there. And I think what the directions want me to do is to sew this down first and then go back and do this one. Thank you, Jen, I appreciate that. Great minds, Tracy. Tracy says she started making clothes for her kids. That's awesome. At the top is the shoulder on one piece and the other arm on the other. That's right. So this is for the shoulders. So this is where this goes over my shoulder. This will go under my shoulder, right? So yes, and you're right. There is a double notch because I made a cut there. See, I at least did that part right. All right, let's turn on the sewing machine. I also have I don't ever use a knee bar, but I have my knee bar in. I would serge the raw edges. If I could pick up my serger, I would. I can't pick it up right now. I still cannot pick up anything heavier than 10 pounds. I also only have white thread in my serger, so that will not be any good. Plus, this isn't, let's be real, this isn't going to go to the Oscars. This isn't going to go to the Met Gala or anything of that nature. It's a fun little pattern that if it comes out good, great. If it doesn't, I'm not gonna freak out about it. You know what I mean? All right. So we're just gonna sew this together. And we'll see what happens. I did a really terrible job of cutting out this material, to be 100% honest with all of you. And granted, I didn't really know what I was doing 10 years ago. So I was like, meh, I'll just cut this out and see what happens. It's fine. You know, I figured, oh, I'll just hide it in the seam allowance, which I am. But it's still not very well cut out at all. But that's okay. I'm also obviously using a different thread than what I had 10 years ago. I feel the struggle, Ian. I spent 4 hours last night trying to plan out and math the next quilt I want to make, and I'm terrible at it. I feel that. I definitely feel that. Okay, so I put these together like so. And I guess I should probably like do a quick press on it, right? I don't remember what type of material this is, so I'm gonna be using a little bit of a cooler iron than the hottest setting. Normally for cotton, I would throw it on the hottest setting, but this doesn't feel like cotton, so I'm gonna use the middle setting to make sure that I don't end up melting this fabric, because this was 10 years ago. I don't know that they even make this fabric. Excuse me. You should have an overlock or zigzag stitch on your Benina. Oh, that's a good idea. I think most sewing machines have overlock or zigzag stitches. You could do that. That's very true. After you stitch your seam, zigzag or overlock the edge. Thank you everybody for posting that. Ross, I'm a mod for cinnamon and I don't know until the video. No one is sewing clothes on YouTube, says Natalie. What an awesome change. I don't know. It may not be so awesome at the end of the night. We'll see. In order to do the overlock stitch, I do have to go grab a couple of things, because right now on my Bernina, I have a different foot on, and I also have a single stitch plate currently on my machine. So I need to change those out, because otherwise I can't do the overlock stitch. Try not to break my needle here. Should you do this with a needle end? No. Do I? Yes. So what happened is I have this single stitch plate. Let me see if I can bring this up to my camera here. I have a single stitch plate that I typically use for piecing quilt top blocks, because with the wider mouth, my machine tends to want to eat the fabric, right? So I typically will change to my single stitch plate. I also have my piecing foot, the 97D, for my machine whenever I am piecing. So I'm going to turn this into an overlock stitch. Thank you guys for that suggestion. That's a good idea. Hi Tiffany, how are you? Let me back that down a little bit. Let me go to, I'm going to change this to a 4.5 width zigzag. And I'm just going to plop that right there. Oops, and I forgot to put my, so on the Berninas you have that dual feed, which is very helpful. And I forgot to put that that feed back down. Another thing that I could do if I didn't want to do this overlock stitch, what I could do is I could take a pair of pinking shears and do the same thing with the pinking shears. Well, not the same thing, but it would have the same type of effect, right? All right, I got to the end. I'm gonna cut my thread. Oh, you were on the phone with your friend in Australia. I hope they made it back safely. All right, so I did go through, the camera's not gonna be able to pick this up because it's black on black thread, but I did go through and do that quick overlock, and you're right, it does make it a lot better. Good idea, guys. Don't think I could sew clothes. Quilts are hard enough. Kelly, I am with you on that. Clothes are hard. Clothes are very, very hard. I did get so frustrated one day while working on creating a garment that I threw a water bottle at a door and put a hole in the door. So there's that. All right. Gonna press this. I don't know which way I'm supposed to press it, but that's okay. I have come to find out on the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt that it just doesn't really, it does matter, but if you don't end up doing it the right way, it's not going to be the end of the world. All right, so there we go. Oh, I forgot to tell everyone, I need your help because I have activated, you know, I'm kind of, Becca has taught me a lot about YouTube since I've been gone and come back. She has these cool commands that if you type it into the chat, it will hopefully give a response. So let's try this out. If you would be so kind, type into the chat !help. Let's see what happens when you type !help. I hope that does right. Kelly, clothes are easier because you can get away with imperfections and seam allowances and don't have to sew a straight line. I don't know if I totally agree with that, Jen, because for me, it's that thinking of a one-dimensional, taking a two-dimensional piece of fabric and turning it into a three-dimensional object. That is hard for me to do. Let's see if it works. I don't know if I made it work or not. Oh, look at that. Streamlabs bot is able to help. All right, so there's a list of commands that you can type into the chat, and it'll help you. These are all the ones that I've put together so far. So we have exclamation welcome, exclamation PMQ, exclamation hug, exclamation Becca, exclamation Tiffany, and exclamation Instagram. Obviously, each of those will correspond with different things. So if you do welcome, it gives a welcome message. Puzzle mystery quilt, if I'm talking about the puzzle mystery quilt, you can hit exclamation PMQ and it gives you the link to Cotton Cuts. We also have, so it looks like the hug doesn't work, but that's okay. All right, cool. The seam allowance is more forgiving on garments. Tracy, that is true. There's usually more of a seam allowance, which I didn't even think about looking at. Are we doing 1/4 inch? Or are we supposed to be doing more? Usually at the front of patterns, it will say what you're supposed to do. Yes, it's supposed to be a 5/8 seam. So there's my 5/8. Okay, so I was supposed to do a 5/8 seam, but that's okay. Honestly, I'm just gonna roll with it. We're gonna keep moving forward. It's fine. You are right. It's usually 5/8. It should either be half or 5/8. I just did. Oh man, Natalie, wouldn't that be fun to do exclamation chocolate cake and just poof? That would be amazing. That'd be really fun. You are right, Jen. It is 5/8, and I just did a 1/4 inch. All right, guys, should I go back? Should I rip that out? I wouldn't even have to rip that out. All I could do is just go back over it with 5/8. Should I go back and redo that? What do you think? Let me know. So Terry says, now that I am sewing bags, quilts, and clothes, I can say the most frustrating are clothes, but I'm determined. It's the fabrics. You're absolutely right. Tracy says you can go back and do it again or leave it. It'll just give you more room. Yes, you do need to check out Streamlabs. It's pretty amazing. Elizabeth says I need to... So here's something that we can look at to tell me if I need to go back and do it again. Because I'm going to look at my other one that I worked, the original pieces that I worked on. That's a 5/8 of an inch. Absolutely, these are 5/8 of an inch. All right, good thinking, everyone. So I'm just gonna go back through. I'm not gonna undo what I did. I don't need to undo it because that's just gonna be in the seam allowance. So I'm gonna go back in and redo my stitching at 5/8 of an inch. And I put it back on a straight stitch, so I'm good there. And it's trying to curl up under my foot. So I'm glad I thought about that and decided to go back and check, because the original, what I had already done was sewn in 5/8. And you're right, it would throw this off. It would absolutely throw it off. Sewing on a Monday. You are so welcome. That'll be $1.50. I'm like the brand new iTunes. All right. Oh yeah, the sleeves won't fit in the armhole property. You are right. So I'm going to repress this again since I just changed that. I'm going to repress. And it did help because remember, I kind of got that selvage in there a little bit. It hid it even more, so it's just going to be barely, barely visible. In fact, it won't be visible because it's actually going to be under my armpit, which no one's going to see there. Unless I'm doing the queen wave. Hello, hello, thank you for coming. I don't know. All right. I don't know how far along you are in the shirt. I pretty much am, I feel like the front of the shirt is pretty much put together, I think. I'm looking back at the instructions, I think. Maybe not, let me see. Oh, I already did the fusible. Yep, I already did that. I'm going to keep going on this. We'll figure it out when we get there. Jen, what can I say? Thank you for coming today. Isn't that what they say in the Princess Diaries? Thank you for coming today. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over. And I'm going to match. There's my thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and match up these notches, even though I did not cut these well. I should find a point that makes sense, you would think. I'm arbitrarily going to say that that makes sense. Close enough. It's fine. We'll get it figured out. See you later, Kelly. Thanks for joining. So I'm just going to arbitrarily say that that matches up there, because I think it does. Oops. My chair just hit the knee bar. I have not used a knee bar very much, if at all. And so I'm still getting accustomed to it. Which is actually really helping out today. Because you can use the knee bar and both of your hands at the same time. The only problem is the knee bar keeps wanting to get in the way, like my pedal. I'm just having interesting time trying to figure out spatial awareness for where everything's at, because my chair arm keeps hitting it, and then my pedal, I'm trying to put the pedal in a place that makes sense. So because this fabric, so we're working on the sleeve, right? One piece of the sleeve is not as long as the others. So you're kind of having to make sure that this fabric is out of the way where you're not having an issue where it will end up either bunching or accidentally going underneath the needle, right? So, sorry that I keep burping. I scarfed down dinner. I was so nervous to go live tonight. And I scarfed down, I had some beef stew. Scarfed it down, and now I'm just burping like nobody's business. So if I burp into your ear, if you're wearing headphones, I do apologize. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. How many of y'all are doing the puzzle mystery quilts? I apologize that I'm not like focusing on the chat. So if I miss any chats, feel free to type it into the chat box again. Okay. Was that perfect? No. Will it do? Yeah, maybe. We'll see. All right, let's switch it back to our zigzag. And we're gonna go zigzag back. So I laid out all of the clues. We're for the puzzle mystery quilt. By the way, you can type exclamation PMQ into the chat and get the information for the puzzle mystery quilt. Actually, I can make this a bigger zigzag because I am, come on, drop. There we go. I don't like that noise because I don't disengage the knee bar all the way, and so it's like, hey, move it. I laid out all my clues thus far for So Sweet. We're finished with clue 7. If you need any help or assistance, you can always go back and watch my video. Becca also has a video out, and there are several other content creators who are working on So Sweet. You can always go check out their videos. But I laid out all my pieces because I always like to add a border. Even though I'm doing the large quilt this time, I'm still wanting to add a border to it because I like big quilts and I cannot lie. See, okay, that's gonna be another $1.75 for your iTunes tonight. Your Ian Tunes. Hey, it really could be iTunes because my name is Ian. iTunes, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be funny? Anyways, now it's called like Apple Music or something like that. Anywho, I laid out all the pieces because I wanted to see what the overall color scheme was coming out to be for powdered, because I have the powdered colorway. And the powdered colorway is coming out really pink and turquoise. So it's going to be very interesting to see what border fabric I end up getting for it. Okay. So there's one sleeve. Da, 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 da. All right, so now what we're gonna do, it actually is supposed to be pressed open, but I don't care, it's fine. So now we have the wrong side out, and it looks like we're supposed to do a hem. Which I'm glad, because this is all kinds of funky. I need to get back into garment making. I need new pants and want to make circular pants for once. You should test the fit. Ooh, that's a good idea. Now remember, this is inside out. But look at that. I got a sleeve and it actually goes all the way down my arm. So this seems to fit pretty well. I mean, it'll obviously fit better whenever it gets actually onto the garment, but it fits pretty well, it goes all the way down. Granted, we are going to lose some for seam allowance, right? But I'm actually really happy with this because a lot of times I put on coats or jackets or anything like that and it ends up looking more like this, right? So this is actually down here, so it looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now, Here's the thing that bothers me, and I don't know how I'm going to work with this. Because right now, let me see if I can get this into a camera shot. Do you see how much longer this back part is over this front part? I can probably hide that. See, I need another light here. I need to put another light here is what I need to do. So what I think I'm gonna do, Vikings don't have a knee bar. Oh, that's very interesting. It says to hem it next, right? Ease this upper sleeve an inch, blah, blah, blah. Stitch along seam line and inside seam line. Use a long machine stitch. Press up sleeve hem. Press under 1/4 inch on raw edge. Stitch close to inner pressed edge. Trim it even or your hem will be off. You have a high shoulder too. You have the shoulder too high. It will, yeah, it's true. I did have it too high. All right. So, who was saying that? Hi, Beth, welcome. Hey, Peace, Love, and Quilting, welcome. Yeah, Tracy, garment making is usually a good place to actually pin. It's one of the few places that you should probably pin. So anyways, what everyone was saying is that I should trim and I'm going to do just that. Is anybody freaking out yet? Are y'all screaming at the screen, Ian, no, don't do it. It's fine. It's fine. It's at least, oh, that's actually a whole lot better. Is it perfect? No, but is it better? Yes. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to work on hemming this 1/4 inch approximately. And I don't know if the instructions say to do it one. Hey, Becca, welcome. CJ, that's right. Peace, Love, and Quilting is CJ. I remember that now. I'm good. CJ, I was honestly like, okay, I think this is CJ, but I can't remember. So I didn't want to like say like, oh, hi, CJ, and then be like, who's CJ? Anyways. Okay, so we're going to press this towards the raw edge. Stitch close to the inner pressed edge. Okay, I'm going to read this one more time. Press under 1/4 inch on raw edge. Stitch close to inner pressed edge. And then we're going to turn the sleeve the right side out. Okay, so what we're going to do is I need to take this part off my I need to take the table off my sewing machine. And wow, I don't have my machine's too big. It's fine. Because normally, I remember I started working on this on my mom's machine. But this machine, this part here, down here, is bigger than what my mom's machine was. So it may not work, and if that's the case, that's fine. I just have to be way more careful with it. Yes, it is a rolled hem. That is what's happening. So I apologize if I like go silent. I'm just basically thinking is what it is. Ooh, yeah, it just doesn't want to fit. Is it gonna fit at all? I don't think so. So we're just gonna be very careful. Going to be super, super careful. This is the under part. This is the under part. What I'm trying to do is make sure that I don't accidentally sew the other part under, right? That's what I'm trying to do. Will I be successful? That's a great question. First of all, I need to take it off zigzag again. So I'm just going to be super, uber careful to make sure that I don't stitch under where I need to, or I don't stitch the other side, right? Like we don't want to close the sleeve up. Jen says, skip the hem and hand sew. Jen, you forget that I don't hand sew. If I'm going to sew, I'm going to do it by machine. I can do it, it's just gonna take an extra minute or two. I'm gonna back stitch to lock it into place. Just going to take an extra second. Because it can be done, you just got to go slow and steady. You got to go slow and steady, pull, slow and steady, pull, slow and steady, pull. That's all it is. Right? It'd be easier if it's not the throat. This is the throat back here on my sewing machine. It would be easier if this part was a little bit bigger, or smaller, excuse me. It'd be easier if it was a little bit smaller, but it still works. You just have to go very slowly, keep checking. Go slow, keep checking. And I can actually feel right now with my left hand, I can actually feel where that is. Where that other part of the sleeve is, to make sure that I'm not sending it through the machine. I hate hand sewing, guys. I absolutely, I will do anything not to hand sew. That's how much I hate hand sewing. I just don't, I've never been a fan of it. And some people find it very relaxing and zen and that's great. That's absolutely great. Not me. 10 out of 10, would not recommend. And I've come back around to the start. I'm gonna run over where I started. I'm gonna go back. And I'm gonna trim my thread. Why do I not like hand sewing? I have big hands, and hand sewing, especially small, it just doesn't feel good for my hands. It doesn't work well for me. And so I just don't like to do it. Also, I like fast. I like to be able to go fast. And so I enjoy being able to zip through sewing something, like putting on the seams on either side. I love that. Hand I just don't like it. All right, so I've done that. Now it says to turn it right side out. And is this the best seam ever? No. Will it do for this? Yes, it will do just fine. All right. I know it's dark, but I've been making clothes even before I had a sewing machine. That's awesome. I truly respect everybody who can do hand sewing. It's just not for me. Just not for me. All right, so I have gone through, I have done 1/4 of an inch-ish, it was ish, and one sleeve is done. Now guess what? We get to do that all over again. This time on the other side. All right, so I have one sleeve, I'm gonna put that there. Let's do it again, shall we? Scraps. Becca's in the house. Tracy says, I used to make them by hand. My mom bought me my first sewing machine when I made my daughter's Halloween costume by hand. What costume was it? You'll have to let me know what the costume was. My mom made my Halloween costumes too, early on. And she, sorry, I just looked at my fingers and they look like they're dark. Is my fabric, is this fabric like dyeing my hands? Is that a thing? I hope not. Yeah, but let me know what pattern or what costume you sewed. She was a pink bunny out of recycled clothing. Aww. Consider doing the hem before you... Oh, there you go. Look at you thinking smart. Heather says consider doing the hem before you sew the long seam. That's a great idea. Look at you cooking with gas. Cooking with gas. I didn't think about doing that. And that would help make sure, like I could cut it, I could trim it when it was here. You got this. You think it's smart. All right, I have a better idea of what I'm doing, so it hopefully will make more sense this time. 5/8. I keep wanting to go to that 1/4 inch. By the way, guys, if you can hear the AC unit, I do apologize. I live in Texas, and it is far too hot not to have the air conditioning on right now. You are absolutely right, Heather. I don't have to fight with it. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. Such a great idea. Now, why would they have you, why does this pattern have you do it that way? Why do they have you close up the sleeve and then do the seam allowance? That doesn't make sense. That does not make sense. But I didn't write the pattern. So maybe they have some brilliant reason for it, but it makes way more sense to do the hem before you close it up. All right, we're going to trim that. Because you can do the hem from the inside. Rich says, you're right, Ian, it does not make sense. I don't understand it, but whatever. All right, so. Oh, I forgot to do zigzag. Let's go back and do our zigzag. And I think we were supposed to press these open. The picture shows it pressing open, but okay, so here's the thing. If they messed up on doing the seam allowance for the hem, obviously they're messing up on every. It's fine. It's fine. Can you tell that I don't take things too seriously sometimes? I'm like, man, it'll work. Whoops. There we go. By the way, we've surpassed an hour. Thank you guys so much for being here on this first Maker Monday. I am planning on doing more Maker Mondays. As you've seen from my scheduled events, I already have October figured out for the most part, although I may have to change the schedule a little bit. I'm waiting to find out more details, but I may have a work commitment that I'll have to kind of move things around a little bit. But if that's the case, no big deal. I will make sure to update those events with the proper dates, and then just make sure to turn on those notifications so that way you know when things get moved, right? All right, I'm gonna make sure to turn it back to my straight stitch. It's just a preference. You could measure it by trying it on and clipping it, test it. I've seen it done both ways. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and press this really quickly. My iron has cooled down because I did not touch it for a while. You can enjoy the booty shot while I sit here and futz with my fabric. That's the fun thing about this microphone, is you can still hear me talking and hear every word that I'm saying, even though I'm not facing the camera. I'm getting kind of loopy. I follow the pattern where it makes sense. You're right. So the hem first gives you double fabric in the underarm seam and it doesn't sit well. Oh, interesting. They do want it to keep the long seam from coming open if you backstitch. Oh, I see. I mostly take shortcuts. Tracy, I'm with you. I am definitely with you on whatever makes it easiest. You know? Again, this is not going to be, if I worked for Louis Vuitton, or wait, isn't that shoes? Isn't Louis Vuitton shoes? If I worked for some prestigious fashion, then yeah, I would want to follow with what I should. But I'm just me. This is not going to be couture fashion. You know? All right, so here is what I've got for my sleeve. Can you see how far off? I start doing my own thing and I start doing my own thing, says Rich, after a while, and that's why I don't follow patterns and I don't sew garments. I feel ya. I've got this kind of stair step. Should I go straight across here? Should I just trim it straight across? It takes a couple of seconds for you to hear what I'm saying, because there's about a 30-second delay. Should I go straight across here and cut it? I think that's what's going to end up happening. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Heather says you're not opening a fashion house anytime soon, so I think we're good. Heather, you are so right. For this project, me, do what's easiest. Sounds good. I'm just going to eyeball this. Just trim, 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 trim. Trim, trim, trim. These are not my good fabric scissors either. Whee! Oops. Tracy says, no, do not go straight across. Well, I already did. It's fine. It's totally fine. And then Maddie says, straight across. Again, guys, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right, so we're going to go. I'm sure that Tracy is screaming at her screen right now. Tracy, I hope you can laugh with me and just, you know, I'm not taking myself too seriously. So if it comes out, honestly, if one of the sleeves was like up here, we would just call it fashion, right? Just call it fashion. It's fine. I am not going to take myself seriously on this project at all. It's totally fine. You know, literally, this project has been sitting in a bin for 10 years. You know, it's obviously not going to be the end of the world if this doesn't turn out like perfect. Just waiting to see more comments. See if Tracy's screaming at me yet. Exactly, Tracy. If it doesn't match up, make it a short sleeve shirt. Totally. You live in Texas and the shirt is black. Exactly. Exactly. It's fine. This is fine. I can't wait to see the finished project, Judy. You and me both. I can't wait either. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and match these up. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I can hide that in the seam allowance. We're going to start off over here. I apologize that I went kind of silent there for a moment. One end is longer than the other, and basically I was trying to figure out and I think I can hide the mismatch in the seam allowance that goes into the shoulder. That's what I'm hoping for. Who knows? Who knows if that's what's gonna happen, but that's what I think. So some other things, so if you haven't already checked it out, make sure to go check out my other live events that are coming up in October. My sew along, that's gonna be happening in October. Make sure to go check that out if you haven't already. I've put a trailer video, so if you go click into any of those live events, there is a video posted inside those live events. Like you click on the video and it'll automatically start playing. It's kind of cool actually. And it tells you everything that you're gonna need. Actually, I think I forgot like scissors or something. I don't know, I forgot something, but it's not like substantial. Okay, so that's, okay. Yeah, we're good. Go check out that event. And I hope y'all will follow along with me. You don't have to make a Halloween version if you don't want to. If you want to make a Christmas one, go with Christmas. If you want to make a kids one, go with a kid jelly roll. Like whatever you want to do, that's totally fine and up to you. You don't have to do exactly, use the Halloween fabric. Yes, I did line up the hem. So the hem is matchy-matchy. This part may not be matchy-matchy. What I am gonna do is, I forgot to backstitch on that, so I'm just gonna go quickly over that area again, just to like really solidify it. And then I'm going to zigzag my edge. To interlock it into place. So, anywho, I hope y'all will join me as I do that. It's gonna be a fun project. I think y'all are really gonna like it. It's a free pattern from Fat Quarter Shop. And I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna do the same thing like we're doing right now. It's probably going to take us 2 sessions to get it all done, but I think we can probably do it in 2. I did go ahead and set up a couple extra sessions just in case, and if we don't end up using them, then I will work on another Halloween project. Because I have a couple of Halloween projects that I would love to work on and get finished. There we go. Hey, Lori, how are you? Welcome. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Tracy says, I will refrain from yelling, but I know it will not match. It's okay. It's fine. You can be like, I told you so. It's fine. All right, so we got another sleeve. I'm putting that a little too high, but there we go. There's another sleeve. What do you know? I made 2 sleeves in an hour and a half. Isn't that funny? All right, let's see. It says for view A, we're gonna add lace. We're not doing that. 12, okay, 12 says pin facing out of the wrong armhole, Hold garment wrong side out with armhole towards you with right sides together. Pin sleeve to armhole edge with center small dot on shoulder seam. Place underarm seam at double small dot. Matching remaining small dots. Pull up ease stitches to fit. Okay, so it looks like we are now going to be attaching, oh, but that's, yeah, no lace. No lace, George, no lace. But that makes me wonder because we have not closed, where'd my armholes go? We have not closed off this part yet. So when was I supposed to close that? With right sides together, pin facing to garment, match center back, shoulder seams, stitch front and neck edges, trim seams, clip curves, and stitch at inner corners. You may want to start fresh. Oh, Jen, does that mean that I should probably end the live for tonight and come back fresh next time and work on this some more? Is that what you're telling me? Rich says, wait until you get the collar. Look, Rich, the collar's already on. Apparently, I did that before I stopped working on this project. So the collar is completed. But as you can see here, I'm going to try and put this. So here's the back of the garment. I have not sewn the armholes closed. So I'm thinking that actually needs to happen first before I do anything else. Right? I think that I can definitely get that done. Tracy, you're so kind. You can video chat with me if you want the help. I appreciate it. I think what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I must have missed this step somewhere. I don't know where I would have missed it, but I did. But these line up. This lines up properly. There's tabs here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sew this together. I don't know when I missed that. Am I the only one that feels like pattern directions are just crazy sometimes? I feel like they are. No worries, Rich, no worries. Rich, this is a totally UFO project, and I didn't remember where I stopped. To be completely honest with you, it really was kind of a UFO where I'm like, where did I stop on this? And I apparently missed a step somewhere, or I just didn't do it, and I don't know. Who knows? It's the fun of UFOs, right? Ooh, and let's go back to a straight stitch. It's okay, it was just a few stitches. I didn't get very far. I am going to back stitch on that. There we go. Now we're going to go forwards. There we go. Just trying to move the fabric out of the way. I will say quilts are easier because they're two-dimensional, not three-dimensional. up. This is why I do not sew clothes. They are confusing. I agree. They are confusing. But you did do that bucket hat yesterday. Make sure to go check out Tiffany's channel, !Tiffany in the chat. Go check out her channel because yesterday she sewed a bucket hat. Okay, I'm not crazy. It is coming off on my fingers and I'm starting to notice it on my table, on my machine. It is a blue dye. They must have made this. Black isn't truly black. What usually happens is the combination of colors, but I'm noticing that it's coming off on my fingers and on my table. So that means this is going to get washed with so many color catchers and by itself. I'm just going to throw a whole bunch of color catchers in it, because I don't want this coming off on, like if I'm wearing, especially if I'm wearing like a white shirt underneath it, I don't want that coming off onto the white shirt. I wish I could, I tried to put the chat up on my TV so that way I could actually see the chat while I was working on the project. But unfortunately, it bogs down my computer. You probably have noticed some like lag in my camera anyways. I didn't want it to be even more so. You just need to watch it, you'll be fine. My UFOs are classified as Area 51 as I'm afraid to venture into them. I feel that. I feel that. All right, so that's the front. So we got one armhole, and now we need to do the other one. Gonna line those up. Oh, Tracy, that's awesome. Not everyone can, but my mom was a seamstress and taught me to sew when I was 6. Tracy, that's so awesome. Where do you get color catchers? Jen asks. I have a bright red cream quilt that's going to... Jen, is this the Friends quilt by any chance? You can get color catchers at Target, Amazon, Walmart. They are made by Shout, and they are some of the best things ever invented. Funny story, I washed my clothes. I don't separate my darks, my lights, my colors. Too much time. So it's my own fault. But I had a red long sleeve shirt that I washed with my clothes, a sweatshirt, and it turned everything white in the wash into pink. And of course, this was the one load of laundry that I had a nice button-up white shirt, came out pink. That's okay. I didn't freak out. I went online, started looking, grabbed a fistful of the color catchers, threw them into the wash, re-washed all the clothes, don't ever dry them, throw them straight back into the washing machine, re-wash everything, and it got most of the red back out. It didn't come out completely, but if you held it up, if you held the white shirt up on its own, you couldn't tell it was pink. It had a hue of pink. If you held it up to something that was like stark white, you could tell it was pink. But if it was just a shirt by itself, you couldn't tell. Almost forgot to switch back to my straight stitch. But yes, color catcher, I seriously threw like a fistful in, and it pulled most of the color out, and I was okay. So highly recommend them, especially for quilts that have conflicting colors, if you will. Colors that run very easily, you know, stuff like that. Definitely would recommend color catchers for that. Ooh, keep trying to go to my 1/4 inch line instead of my 5/8 line. Keep having to be like, sure. Back stitch and go off. Go off. The Monica quilt from Silbecca. How did I know? How did I know? Tracy says, I'm 52 now, so it's been a long time sewing and crafting. Absolutely. Jen says, off to Walmart. They are wonderful things. I absolutely love them. All right, so we've got our sleeves. So now I could actually like semi-put this on. Where's my, there's that. Okay, so this actually, this part goes inside. I accidentally flipped up the inside of the garment. Put this on the big camera so everyone can see. So there we go. Came in late, but you're sounding good. Thank you. Although I just may have covered up my microphone and made all kinds of noises for y'all. Sorry about that. So I've got my, just needs like a press, but a little floppy. A little floppy, but that's fine. It needs a press, but that's fine. So it'll be something like this. There we go. All right. Let's take that back off. Ooh. What time are we getting to? About 15, I think about 15 more minutes. It sound about good with everybody? I think about 15 more minutes. And we'll probably end it for the evening. I think it's been a very successful first Maker Monday. What do you think about the name? Maker Monday. Bev, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Until next time. Oh, that looks good, even without the sleeves, Ian. Oh, thank you. The important part now is going to be matching up this part. This may have to wait until next time. This may be me going offline and starting the process of figuring this out. Because as I'm sitting here, we have, let me put the overhead cam back in. I have the 2-tab right here. I'm so sorry, guys, that it's dark. I know that that's an issue. I literally have every light on in my apartment right now. I'll get it fixed at some point when I can figure out what I'm doing. But I have a 2-tab here. But oh, here's a 2-tab here. But I have to make sure, okay. I have to figure out which arm goes to which side. I don't think we're going to be doing that tonight. I think we made good progress on this so far. I think we got it a little further along. I think this is the part where I go offline and I sit here in silence and I run it through my little brain and figure out which sleeve needs to go on which side, because what would happen if I didn't do it correctly basically is this part is supposed to go up over my shoulder, right? It's supposed to go over my shoulder. But if I'm not careful, I could have it end up coming out from under my armpit, right? That's not what I want. I don't want like this dangling down from my armpit. So probably going to stop here and figure it out. I love Maker Monday, and I think you did a great, you did great finding where you left off and making sleeves. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Tracy, shoot me an email, offkiltercrafterian@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. I may hit you up for some help. Yeah, shoot me an email and we'll chat. We'll chat. Yes, lots of pins in armholes. I think that's going to have to be a thing. So I think that's where we're going to leave it here for tonight, and we're just going to hang out and chat with you. Oh, thank you so much, Becca. Becca, thank you for that super chat. That's so nice of you. She says, a Dutch Brothers treat will help you think through it. Becca, you know me too well and my Dutch brothers. I love Dutch Bros. If you don't have a Dutch Bros near you, I'm so sorry. I converted from Starbucks. I am now a Dutch Bros kind of guy, which is bad because I spend way too much money there. But thank you so much, Becca, for that donation. I really appreciate it a lot. So yeah, I think this was a successful first Maker Monday, right? I think we'll come back for another Maker Monday. Ooh, this is bothering me. We got some strings hanging off of here. I think we're going to come back. Obviously, I'm going to go for the evening. I'm going to sit here, think about it. I may hit up Tracy and be like, help. But I think I'll get it a little further along, and we'll come back for another Maker Monday, and we'll continue on and see what else is going on. You know, see what the next steps are. I've at least figured out where I was for the most part, and that's really important, right? So now we'll move forward and keep going. I've got to say, guys, I'm actually very surprised with how well it went tonight. I was honestly thinking that this was going to be a disaster, and it was going to be a whole hour of everyone laughing at me. You probably did laugh at me, and that's fine. That's totally fine. I make fun of myself all the time, so don't feel bad about that. I'm also thinking for another Maker Monday, just outside the frame here is my beautiful, new to me featherweight. I can't pick her up right now because, again, she's over 10 pounds. I feel like she's over 10 pounds. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't want to risk it. Still recovering from surgery. I don't want to do anything that will risk, you know, having to redo the surgery. So she's sitting there. I think on another Maker Monday, I'll pull her out and we'll put a block together, and it'll be my first time sewing on my featherweight machine. That would be pretty fun, right? I think that'll be another Maker Monday. If you have any ideas for Maker Monday, please feel free to leave them in the chat. Another Maker Monday, I'm hoping to do quilt labels with y'all. I want to do quilt labels using infusible inks and the Cricut. How fun would that be? That would be pretty fun, right? Rich said, you did good, Ian. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Becca is awesome. Thank you, Becca, so much for that coffee. I really do appreciate it. Judy says, I did not laugh at you, Ian. This was great. Judy, I appreciate that so much. It's okay to laugh at me, though. I'm really okay with it. I laughed at myself. Yeah, so I think this is pretty successful. I'm pretty happy. Mondays are going to be the days that I go live or try to go live. I don't think I'm going to be going live every Monday. Starting out here, it's probably going to be every other Monday until I can get up to speed and get going again. So keep checking back at my channel. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, click the bell notification, and don't forget to come back regularly to my channel so that way you can see when I post new live events. I will do my best to stay on top of those so that way you know when the next live event will be. Hopefully I can get some updated technology and get better lighting, get another camera. I would love to get a new laptop, so if you want to send a super chat for a brand new computer, that would be great. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. But I am going to try and get some better lighting, a new camera, to give you 3 cameras, and then maybe sometime in the future, as I get going with YouTube, maybe I can get my revenue up and be able to afford a new computer. So that way, because I noticed on my end, things were a little choppy, and I do apologize about that, but we'll get there. We'll get there, guys. I just appreciate y'all so much being here and having fun and hanging out. Judy says, I want to learn how to make labels. We will do that. We will do that on a Maker Monday. The Cricut Maker is right at 10 pounds. I can pick it up, but maybe we should do that next time. What do y'all think? Should we do quilt labels next time? We'll put no, I really want to work on this project. I want to get this UFO done, right? So we'll keep working on this probably next time. Look for that event coming up very soon. It does take time, Tiffany, that's right. We want to see Cricut projects. I can hear Becca's voice in my head saying, we want to see Cricut projects. We'll get there. We will get there. I'm also wanting to do, I did get the Cricut card mat 2x2 for the Maker. I want to try that out and see what that looks like. And we'll just, each stream at a time, right? We'll get it one at a time. Jennifer, what is Ian working on tonight? Tonight, I made sleeves. This was a UFO jacket pattern costume thing. What is the official? The official pattern was Simplicity's Costumes for Adult. It doesn't say. Just says that it is the pattern is a 4083. This is it's backwards for me, so I keep trying to turn it the wrong way. Yeah, it doesn't even say like jacket or anything. It just literally says costumes for adults. That's all it says. I don't even know if this is going to focus in right, but can you see over here in the circle? It looks like the Willy Wonka costume right there. That's what it looks like. Anywho. We'll get that figured out. Tracy says, don't risk it until the doctor says so. I'm going to be going back at the end of the month to get officially cleared. And once that happens, absolutely. It does take time, absolutely. Jennifer, that was the jacket that I'm making. Kathleen says, Ian, maybe without a Cricut for labels, I had an idea for something you might like as well. I'll leave a comment below later. It was a great time. Thank you for being here. Finish the shirt or whatever it is. Oh, thank you, Jamil. Thank you so much for better lights. A start at least. Amazon has cute flexible rod lights and they might help you with that close-up camera view. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. I really do appreciate that. It does help me out so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Absolutely, thank you. That's so sweet of you. All right, I think we are going to leave it here. Feel free. I'm waiting for the notification to come up on the screen because I want to do the celebration with everybody. There it is. Woohoo! Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much for that super chat. It is so kind of you. It's so hard for me to express to an audience. Like, I'm looking at a camera. I know you are out there on the other side of the screen. Thank you so much for it. I greatly appreciate your contribution and your help. Do you know what that Dollar Tree store sells vinyl for sticker stuff for Cricut? Yes, I did. I'm seeing in the Cricut groups that some people like it, some people don't. It's kind of all over the map, to be honest. But I've got more videos and stuff coming up, soon. I'm hopefully back on schedule and going to be, I don't know if I'm able to get a video out each week, but I'm going to try very hard to at least get something out each week. And I'm going to do my best to get back on top of my YouTube game. And I really appreciate y'all supporting and helping me out. Waza! That's right, Colleen. Or Kathleen, excuse me. Oh, man. Switch over to that one. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I really do appreciate y'all being here for the first Maker Monday. Here in just a second, I'm going to switch this camera off, but I'm going to leave the chat running for about a minute after I go off. But I greatly appreciate y'all being here. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below, hit the bell notification icon, and then make sure that your notifications are turned on your device. As well. I freaked out for a moment. I was like, wait, did I go to the right camera? Am I talking to no one? Make sure to hit that bell notification icon. Click that bell or hit subscribe, bell, then turn on those notifications on your iOS device or Android device, depending on which one you have. I really appreciate y'all being here. We're gonna do more Maker Mondays coming up. We'll work some more on this. I'm gonna reach out and figure out what I'm doing, and we'll take it one step at a time. Thank you for being here, and remember guys, normals, just a setting on the dryer. Feel free to hang out for just a moment and chat with everybody. It'll be up on the screen, but for now, I'm going away. See you later, guys.